Hey guys, welcome to the All Sports Pass Podcast North. I'm your host, X-Nash Kriegel X, and today, welcome to the second video in the 2024 SEC schedule predictions series. And the second video I decided will be the second newcomer to the SEC, the Oklahoma Sooners. And before we get into this video, leave a like and subscribe for more college football content and more SEC predictions. And without further ado, let's begin. All right, so Oklahoma is coming in to the season as a new member of the SEC, of course, after playing in the Big 12 for a long time. And they are coming off a 10-3 season with a 7-2 with going 7-2 in conference play at the time, excuse me. And now they're in the SEC. They're going to be playing some new teams, and let's see how I think they're going to do. And keep in mind, these are my predictions. They're not. I'm not part of a media team or anything. These are just my predictions. As me being an SEC fan, these are my predictions. All right. So week one, they're going to be playing Temple. This game was actually scheduled. I forgot to mention this. Notable departure for me, in my opinion, is quarterback Dylan Gabriel, who transferred to Oregon after this season. And he, in his time starting last season, he led the team to a 10-2 record. And had 266 completions on 384 attempts, giving him a completion percentage of 69.3 with 3,660 passing yards, and had 30 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. And for rushing, he had 373 yards on 93 attempts with 12 touchdowns. And now they don't have him anymore, so it's going to be interesting to see how they adjust, really. Heading into this season, as of course Dylan Gabriel did transfer to Oregon, so it's going to be interesting to see how Oklahoma can do. But however, I do think that this first game against Temple is going to be pretty good for them because they'll start to figure things out, and then as well as the fact I think that they're going to get a win against Temple. I think it's going to happen, so I'm going to give Oklahoma a 1-0 start to the season here. Then next week they're playing a former Big 12 conference, a former conference rival in Houston. Houston is coming off a 4-8 season, so I would expect Houston to be weaker. But however, then again, it's college football; anything could happen. Here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to give Oklahoma the win here simply because, I think Oklahoma is able to do it. Also because of the fact that, Houston, like I said, with the 4-8 record, it looks like Houston is a weaker team than, heading in to this season. And, yeah. Then the next week, they're going to be playing Tulane, and I have to say, Tulane actually did pretty good last season. They were actually ranked at one point, and I was actually impressed. But for this one, here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to give this one to Oklahoma, simply because I do think Oklahoma will be the stronger team in this game. However, I just think that Oklahoma winning this game would be good, because of course, it would may give them momentum heading into their first SEC conference, rival game the next week against Tennessee. And for that game, really I'm kind of torn because, Tennessee, we've seen some great seasons under Coach Josh Heupel for Tennessee, and of course, with 2022 being their best season that they've had in years, they want to get back to where they were 2 seasons prior. And, of course, you will see a Tennessee schedule predictions video that will be at a later date. I can't say when I'll be doing that one. But however, stay tuned for that one because I'm excited to make that one. Um, but for Tennessee, I'm going to say this. If Tennessee can have a good start and good finish in this game, I'm going to say Tennessee can take the win. But however, I also want to see how good Tennessee can do heading in to this season of college football and see if they can, get back to where they were 2 seasons prior. And then, yeah. So, but for this one, man, I don't know. Here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say, if Tennessee can, in fact, defeat Oklahoma, it'll be a good one. And I think Oklahoma may win, but I'm going to go Tennessee here. I'm going to give Tennessee. This is probably the first time I've ever done this, but I'm going to give Tennessee an upset win here because Tennessee surprised a lot of people over the past couple seasons, and I think there's more in store for Josh Heupel and his squad. I really cannot wait to see this game. Then next week, the end of their four-game home stretch, as they will be playing Auburn at Auburn. Here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say Oklahoma is going to win this one simply because, Auburn hasn't I don't think Auburn was really good last season. And, of course, sorry, Auburn fans. The Iron Bowl, the long 4th and goal being converted for a touchdown against Alabama. Sorry, Auburn fans. But, however, I do think Oklahoma is going to win, just simply like I said, because I don't think Auburn has really been as much of a strong team as they used to be. But, however, it's like I said, anything can happen in college football, but still, like I said, these are my predictions. I'm going to go Oklahoma on this one. And then they're off the next week. Then if y'all already know this pick, but I'll say it on this one here. The Texas Longhorns, the Red River Rivalry. And before we get into more in this game, I'm excited that the Red River Rivalry, when they announced a few years ago that Texas and Oklahoma will be joining the SEC, I'm glad they brought the Red River Rivalry to the SEC because, in my opinion, that's one of the most anticipated games of the year. It's just an amazing game, and so many great moments have came out of these games, and I cannot wait to watch this one. But however, on the Texas Longhorns video, I said I got Texas winning. I'm gonna stick to that simply because Texas can learn from their mistakes that they did last year in that Red River Rivalry. Of course, Oklahoma won against Texas last year in Red River Rivalry by a score of 34-30. I think Texas can learn from their mistakes, and I think they can redeem themselves in the Red River Rivalry and win it. All right. And then the next week, they're playing South Carolina. Here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to give this one to Oklahoma because I just think that South Carolina is a team that really anyone can beat. Now, hey, for Tennessee fans, I'm sorry about 2022, but South Carolina, when I said anything can happen in college football, well, this is an example. Tennessee came in as heavy favorites, but then South Carolina upset them and won by a score 63-38. And then, of course, that ended Tennessee's chances of going to play for a national championship, with a chance to, And speaking of that, for all y'all who don't know, college football this season, they are going to be implementing a 12-team playoff instead of a 4-team playoff, which I'm excited to see because, I really think they should have done this a long time ago due to the fact that, you have so many good games going on, and it's now which team wants it more. And that's really what I think it should be. And now you have a chance to with the 12-team playoff system. All right. And then the next week, they're playing at Ole Miss. And I have to say, Ole Miss, they surprised me. They really did the last season. And I was shocked by their momentum that they were able to hold. So here's what I'm going to say. I think if Ole Miss can do like they've done in the can do what they've done last season and able to repeat what they did last season, I'm going to give this one to Ole Miss because Ole Miss, of course, with a notable get in the transfer portal, Walter Nolan, lineman. He's a pretty good, in my opinion. Really good player, and yeah, so he's really going to be able to reinforce that D line a bit, and yeah, So I got Ole Miss winning this one. All right, the next week they're playing an FCS team in Maine. I'm gonna go and do this. I'm gonna go and with Oklahoma here, simply because Maine is an FCS team. But however, hey, we've also seen FCS upsets. And like most people, are gonna say for an upset. Like I think it was Appalachia State and Michigan in '07. Back when Appalachia State was an FCS team, and ended up, winning that game, um, and ended up shocking the world. And I really think that anything can happen, but I just think it's gonna be Oklahoma winning this one. All right, this is this is a the next game is gonna be at Missouri and Oklahoma will be playing them. Missouri surprised me this year. Like, really, they did. They ended up being ranked in the top 10, and, of course, defeating Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl. That really surprised me. It also surprised, in my opinion, I think it surprised a lot of people for Missouri because Missouri hasn't really, in my opinion, had as much success as much as these other programs these past few years, and they ended up, doing pretty good this last season. But, however, I'm going to go with this. I'm going to go Oklahoma on this one, just simply due to the fact that, of course, Missouri, just simply because, Missouri can have a good season, but, however, they can also, however, can they carry their success from last season into this season? And that's, really what I really predict here. All right, then the next week they're off, and then they're going to play the Alabama Crimson Tide at home after that off week. And for Alabama, a notable departure for them, Nick Saban, longtime coach, longtime mentor of these guys, and probably the greatest coach of all time in my opinion. They're going to be under now coach Kalen DeBoer. Sorry if I said his name wrong. Now, and Kalen DeBoer, however, was on the Washington Huskies. He was the head coach of the Washington Huskies when they went to the national championship game. But, however, it's going to be interesting because the Washington Huskies were in the Pac-12, and now Kalen DeBoer is going to be down here in the SEC. So it's going to be interesting to see what Kalen can do. But, however, I'm going to say this. If Alabama cannot rebound, I would go Oklahoma, but however, I do think Alabama can rebound, so I'm going to give the win to Alabama here. That's what I'm going to say. All right, and then LSU the next week, playing at LSU. I'm going to say this, heading into this season, I think LSU can be good. I just think that, of course, their national championship win, can they put that success from that national championship win a few years ago, like they've been trying to do for the past few years? Can they bring that success in to this season? Now, of course, on the final rankings, they were ranked number 12 in the AP. They had a 10-3 record and 6-2 of the SEC. Whenever I'm looking at this schedule here, and they lose to Florida State, who was ranked number 8 at the time, and LSU was then ranked number 5. And then looking at here, Ole Miss, when Ole Miss was ranked number 20, LSU was ranked number 13, and then they did beat Missouri back when LSU was ranked number 23, and Missouri was ranked number 21. and then their final loss of the year came to Alabama when Alabama was ranked number 8. And yeah, now if LSU can keep doing what they're doing, like if they can carry some of their success over from last season, I think it's going to be a good ball game. I'm gonna say this though. I'm probably gonna say I really don't know. um, I'm gonna go with this one here. I'm gonna go LSU. And I just think that LSU can pull it off really, and that's what I think will happen. So yeah, that's all I got for y'all tonight. If y'all like this video, leave a like, subscribe for more college football content and more schedule predictions. Keep in mind, these are my predictions. I'm not a member of a media team. These are just my predictions. As a fan of the SEC, these are just my predictions. Just thought I reiterate that. All right, that's all I got for y'all tonight. Peace out and good night to everyone.